is my world. Are you thinking about using Facebook?
I'm still thinking about using YouTube and pretty much I have a photography business.
What you need to do is show your work. Lenovo and I have a lot of things in common. We care about people, we care about technology, and we also care about business. But massively, we're both global brands. So the fact is, technology is an enabler, but it's also a connector as well. Hi, welcome. So, explaining social media. Chicken wing.
Chicken wing.
Are we live? Okay. I always start off with this awkward moment where I'm just like, do I look good? Do I sound good? Am I going chicken out today? And I'm always thankful when people like Jonathan on YouTube is watching me, and people on LinkedIn is watching me, and my trusted voice community is watching me. And if the sound is off, if my things are off, if there's anything off, I want you to comment and say, String, you're good, because that's a validation that everything's okay. And last week I had a bit of kerfuffle, and because I was rushing. And there's always people pinging me on my WhatsApp, my messengers, and I had to help a friend who needed a Japanese translator, and I'm like, okay, because I have a good network, I had to do a thing for my friend first before I go on to stream, so I had to connect that people up. Oh, a blank screen? Do you see a blank screen? Yeah, it is a little bit delayed. So what kind of blank screen do I have? So before we do anything and I go into the chicken out, yeah, I have to see if my video is on first. Let's see. Am I on? No, I am on. So I think Alien, let me check onto LinkedIn to see if I'm working or not. But it looks like I'm pretty much, no, we see you. So Alan, by the way, shout out to Alan, like, you're really good. Yeah, you're good now. Thanks, Kirk. So I'm going to pick 3 profile pics today, and we're going to be talking about LinkedIn. And I finally have my live chat on, so I get to see people from LinkedIn, my Facebook group, my YouTube, everything there to help me have conversation with you, because instead of like having a webinar kind of style presentation, it's actually about the communications. And thanks, Nikki, for giving me the kudos to say I'm good. So this is me just like warming up right now. If you can't hear me, should I have? Yeah, I'm on. Can't hear anything now. Well, interesting. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going till someone says that you can't hear me. But thanks to everyone. I'm wondering where you're watching from. I'm always surprised by how global we are, especially during we live in an online world, so I'm not surprised that we're connected from different places and different time zones as well. So there's people from Hong Kong watching in the morning, there's people in Australia that's in midday and about to have lunch, there's people from America who are like settling about to go to bed right now. And I'm really excited because I have one serious question for you. You know how much I love fried chicken. So I want to know, where's your favorite joint to eat fried chicken? I know that Justin has his own chickens running around him. So I always ask if I could like fry his chicken, because I think fresh chicken or ones that are growing outside your own house is pretty much like a dope thing to do. So I'm thinking about having my own chicken. And today we're going to be talking about how to stand out on LinkedIn, because I feel like even there are 650 million of us on LinkedIn right now, I don't feel like I feel like a lot of professionals are not utilizing it to its full potential. And I feel like it's because they fear the critiques, creating content. Maybe they don't know where to start with when it comes to content creation. But the battle is not about the critiques from everyone else. The battle actually starts from inside of us, because we're the ones who chicken out when we do new things, right? Especially when you're an expert for 20 years, 10 years. Like, don't you remember the first time that you think about that first day of work when you know nothing? And that's the same thing on LinkedIn. When you're creating content for the first time, you go have those moments where it's like, do I know what I'm doing? And it's our internal imposter syndrome kind of talking to us and trying to like chicken you out, right? So you try not to chicken yourself out. By the way, I've eaten at Bell's Hot Chicken 3 times. So that's in Melbourne and I really love them. And I think, so I've been eating chicken around the world in so many places, and one of the things I do is organize fried chicken parties. And I used to travel a lot. Before pre-COVID, I traveled everywhere to connect with my networks and my friends. And today we're going to be talking about 3 tactics on how to stand out on LinkedIn, and I'm going to pick 3 profiles as well. So if anything, I just want to give you the introduction of what we're going to be watching. And so there are going to be like 3 tactics I want to share with you on how to stand out on LinkedIn. And I'm going to pick 3 LinkedIn profiles as well. So if you want me to like pick your profile, I want you to comment below your link, me, something that so I could click onto you so I could pick. And that way when we could do a profile visit, like we're going to be watching and checking out different profiles, and I'm going to give you feedback on how to do things. I accuse my closed LinkedIn. Accidentally close your LinkedIn and open it again. Yes, right. Yeah, thank you. I had to be framed from the start. Interesting. I'd never had that experience, Adia, but welcome back. Thanks, pick mine. Okay, so continue dropping in your LinkedIn profile so I could pick and select who if you want your LinkedIn profile updated, so I could give you tips on how to like improve on it. And interestingly enough, like I'm going to give you a heads up, I tend to pick members from my trusted voice community or members from my trusted circle members, and I always prioritize them because they paid me to give them feedback on advice on how to like improve their branding as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick Subala, because like I always wanted to help Subala, and she's been a really strong advocate to my community as well. But in the below, I do want you to like share your profile. I'm going to go pick 3. So thanks, Scott. I appreciate you joining in as promised. So what's amazing is that I'm using a tool called Restream that pushes into multiple platforms. So that means like I don't have to stay in one primary platform. I could go onto YouTube, LinkedIn Live, my Facebook, and have one like. It's amazing. I actually think it's really useful, especially if you are really confident on camera or confident on videos and your expertise. It's a great way to like push into like these multiple platforms and have one stream of conversations, because there's this chat box here that allows me to like have these multiple streams of conversation. Okay, I'm going to share this one tactic with everyone because I noticed that a lot of people like Leon, who I feel like he's only, you kind of know that he's super new when he has only about 264 followers, that he's not really active on LinkedIn, but I love how he puts on his like title, Leo Chen Real Estate Group. But I feel like it's not about real estate being a real estate group. It's actually him trying to like gauge that he's a real estate agent. There's a difference between being a real estate agent and a real estate group, don't you think? But what I noticed is the first thing that we should do is that you should update your URL profile. So if you go to the blog, thetrustedvoice.co, here's a step-by-step guide to show you, and it will take you only 3-4 minutes. So Dr. DM McCarthy, you're another one who needs to update your LinkedIn profile, URL, and there's a few others as well that I feel like that should update their URL. So that for me, who's so active on LinkedIn, that indicates to me that you're not super active on LinkedIn at all. So the first thing that I go do is I suggest that to stand out on LinkedIn, to show that you're active, that I want you to think about how to like update your URL, and it takes about 5 minutes to do, so it won't take you long at all. So by doing that, it just allows you to share and go on your business cards, email signatures, grow your connections as much as possible on LinkedIn, because it's another channel for you to increase your touch points and communications with your interested prospects, and those prospects are your votes, right? So the new way of doing, and this is where tactic number 2 is that you need to build up a network on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is definitely a place for you to hang out on. Think about it. So I'm going to go back here. Think about it, right? There are so many people here doing business, developing their careers, decision makers, that LinkedIn is more than a resume platform. Like, you can treat LinkedIn as a resume, definitely. But what about treating it like a networking opportunity to connect with decision makers? So the more you increase your touch points with these decision makers, the more you build trust, and the more you build trust, the more it's easier to convert. So the reasons that I am on here on LinkedIn is because I notice there's an opportunity, a gap. Hey, Voltrack and a few other people, I notice there's a gap where people are super scared of creating content, or the way I see it is like a lot of professionals are experts here, but not very good content creators or storytellers, because they're not really creating content to stand out from the crowd. So one way to stand out from the crowd or stand out on LinkedIn is just creating content that attracts conversations. The way that I treat conversation, I know, Mike, there's always an audio lag, but that's the case with LinkedIn, and that's something I can't fix, really. That's something LinkedIn has to fix, not my end. So if anything, if you want the less audio lag, you should hang out onto YouTube or onto my Facebook group, because I find that LinkedIn lags by 20 seconds. But I'm not here to talk about technical aspects. So I'm here to talk about how to stand out on LinkedIn. So continue on the conversation originally in my topic before. It's like, why do you need to build content on LinkedIn? If you're not, what happens is that the people who are creating content are people who are decision makers are reading onto it and connecting onto it and say, oh my God, like String's talking about this. I really need to improve my LinkedIn profile. Now you go associate me with LinkedIn and personal branding. But if you're not creating content to showcase your expertise, what you're doing is that you become invisible. And the people who are creating content, what happens is they become top of mind, meaning that unconsciously, the more they connect and build those touch points with those prospects, they're more likely to have those conversations and be the pick, the choice of that person when they want to do business with. So if you're a real estate agent, and I'm just using Leo as an example, and people are not ready to buy houses now, right? People are ready to buy houses when they have enough money, but they're shopping around. But one thing for sure, when they need to buy a house, is connect with a real estate agent. To connect with a real estate agent, that means like they go look through their own network first before they go and cold reach or pick another one. So if you're showing houses on a regular basis and showing people closing deals and people are really happy with the house choices, likely Leo, for example, will be that top choice in being picked to be their chosen real estate. So if you think about it from your own business, are you creating content to be top of mind with your own prospects? Are you connecting and making sure that you're building rapport with them and building that trust with them by creating content? If you're not creating content on LinkedIn, you're pretty much invisible, because there are so many decision makers here, whether it be mum, dads, CEOs, C-levels, VPs, whatever you like, they're hanging out on LinkedIn. They might not be contributing to conversations on your posts, but they're looking and lurking. So I recommend that you think about LinkedIn as a network, but for you to build up your network and be the top choice, the trusted source within your industry, you have to start creating content. And I'm going to share with you some tactics on how to do that. I use LinkedIn to build. So Joseph before mentioned that he uses his resume for job submissions. I don't. I'm not looking for jobs. I already know that I'm an expert. But the way if you're looking for a job, it's still the same philosophy. You want to think about how to be the expert in your industry. So when prospects or your like recruiters or the CEO who wants to recruit you, they know that you're being active and you're being a thought leader within your space. But yeah, definitely it helps you to stand out from the crowd. It shows that you're being active in the industry, you're an expert in your field. So you should really think about how to stand out in that end. So LinkedIn is traditionally a resume platform, but if another way to think about it is like LinkedIn is a static resume platform. So what can you do to stand out even more? Create content, be an expert. Yes, the crazy thing is that people read. I don't know why people don't comment, but when people comment means that it allows me to know who my true fans are. But when they meet you in person, they say, hey, I've read your content. But there's a lot more lurkers out there than there are more community members. So I appreciate you, Kirk. And I'm going to actually pick Kirk as well. Kirk is my second choice for my LinkedIn profile, by the way. So people read, they consume, but if you don't have a proactive action within your content to say, hey, you should comment on my post, they won't comment because you never gave them permission or gave them an action to say, comment onto my post. So the second person it's Mark. Thanks, Mark. The second person that I'm going to choose Mark. Mark, stay on YouTube. I'm going to pick you as the second and third person because we need to update your LinkedIn profile anyway. And you're part of the trusted circle as well. So yeah, okay. Okay, so the first tip for sure is update your URL profile. Okay. And truthfully, if you want me to I'll be honest, I'm selling a business and service here. If you want me to pick up your profile, I'm happy to do that. I'm going to pick one random person later on. But if you want me to pick your profile, the easiest thing is to just join the trusted circle. It's an easy way for me to to go on top of the queue and jump the queue and be picked and stuff. Hopefully I can be number 3. I'm your fan. Yes. Oh, thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that. I'm not planning to go anywhere. I still feel like LinkedIn is still a place for me to hang out and learn. And I realize that it's easy to stand out on LinkedIn just by creating content and being really connected to my values and showing my values on a regular basis. Creating content to show people how to do better on LinkedIn is my value, a way of giving back to the community. So because if there's more content creators on LinkedIn, more people hang out on LinkedIn. When there are more people hanging out on LinkedIn creating awesome content, more people go be happier. And when they are more happier, they go open their pockets more, right? So I want to create the good vibes within the LinkedIn community so then we could stay and hang out and be happy what we do. Don't pick I need to okay, Adrian, don't worry, I'm not going to pick you. I'm picking Subala, Mark, and I'm also picking Kirk, who I've been trying to woo over to be part of the trusted circle because he needs a kick in his ass to create content. You started with video and then you stop and you'll be amazing on video. So I recommend that you keep on trying to do video at least once a week so then you could increase your cadence onto this as well. All right. So the second hack. So I'm going back into my hacks. All right, which is videos, right? I need to go back onto this. So the first hack is update your LinkedIn URL. The second hack is that treat LinkedIn like a URL, like a network connections. Because when you network with people, you go build up your network. Don't add randoms, okay? Please do not add randoms. When you add randoms, you go have weird conversations happen in your DMs, whether it be eggplant, people trying to sell it to you, snakes. You don't want snakes in your DMs, do you? But I like them in a weird way because it shows me how people try to sell you, and never ever sell in your first connection. I think I need to do another stream on a whole conversation about how to connect and DM people because there's a social etiquette that needs to be talked about, and I feel like people still want to sell things, so it's okay to sell things, but don't sell in your first pitch, man. All right, let me look at the comments first. I'm coming. Video is scary. Yes, I'm coming. Don't pick me. So I'm going to definitely go pick, because I like Kirk, and I've been trying to pick Kirk. Kirk is someone who I think will be amazing on LinkedIn just because he has such a world of knowledge around him as well. Kirk, I can't find you, mate. Kirk Clulee. Man, why can't I? All right. Kirk, can you do me a favor? Can you drop in your LinkedIn URL so I could click onto you? I did something wrong. Oh. All right. This is what happens when you play around things too much. Yeah, I stuffed that up. All right, let me fix this up because I don't like how my stream looks like now. So what are some of the questions you have about LinkedIn? Let me fix up my window first because that's what I need to do to make myself happy. No, that doesn't want to do that as well. No, I don't want, I want to discard that. Yes, discard that. Yes, discard that. Okay, it seems to me that people don't want me to... Oh, there you are. I found it! That took me forever. Okay. So Subala... I need to go and talk about videos because there's a few types of contents and tactics that you should consider onto LinkedIn, right? And I'm going to push myself out there. So there are 2 videos that you should definitely consider when it comes to creating content. And that's like creating written posts with no links. If you put links onto your written post, what happens is like your algorithms and your reach goes down dramatically. So drop your links into the comments. So when you write out your post, drop the links into the comments. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You probably see this pattern. And if you hang out with me quite a lot, you notice like I never leave URL links into my posts because I notice that it drops engagement straight away. And the second thing is that written posts actually gets more eyeballs because people like to read more on LinkedIn. So no photos, written posts only, 1,300 characters. How many words is that? That's about like 200 words. And if you do that, showing your expertise, you'd be really awesome. And the thing to consider is that you need to think about how to hook people in. I call it you know how in emails everyone's competing with your attention with the subject lines? The first line of your LinkedIn post is what actually grabs people's attention. So if you have a really weak or flaccid first one-liner, you're not going to grab people's attention. If you need to have like a really strong, proactive, like 5 tips to be making money on LinkedIn, or 5 tips on how to stand out on LinkedIn and be boss or be a thought leader in your space, like something that's results driven because people want to be awesome at something, right? And or like the best one is like, I failed. Something vulnerability like that, like test that out, like write on your first LinkedIn post as the post saying I failed, and you go get a lot of attention by this. So I guess like what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of what a good LinkedIn post looks like. Oh no, I turned off the image, but that's because I didn't like the way that I looked with my thing. Let me set it up for you. Video capture, new, okay. Okay, what I'm going to do instead is go show you the content that goes through my feed, and I'm going to analyze what works and what doesn't work, and I'm going to hide my message box because that doesn't really matter, and hide this. Yes, you could see my profile visit views. All right, this is what my LinkedIn feed looks like, right? And the game of the LinkedIn feed is to stop and get people's attention. Ahmed did smart. So what he did was like he created something that will like make people stop and watch. At age 22, his dreams were shattered. Whoa. But everyone knows The Rock, right? So clearly he uses a famous person as a way to grab people's attention. And look how many views he got, 2,674, 241 comments. Like that's really hyper engagement. And so what I'm trying to say is like if you use, and he also knows the game is also to click more, see more. I actually think the content isn't, I just like his like one line hook that he does. And then he's like using the emoji of see more to like make people want to engage with it. But the content there, he has like he grew rapidly. He grew 3 times more faster than I did on LinkedIn by just being vulnerable, triggering people's attention and getting people's attention, but also giving good feels vibes as well. So Ahmed's actually a good content creator, just to see how he leverages attention and things. This is a no-no for me. This is too much text. People like to make it easy to read. The common practice is that a lot of people share stuff, which I have to say, like, sharing post doesn't really get much engagement. And I have to give shout out to David. He's always supporting me, but I'm waiting for David to actually create content and show his voice, because what he's doing, he's actually promoting Brian and not his expertise. So try to think about like creating content to really boost up your expertise. So I usually call this a passive headliners. It doesn't really grab people's attention. And look again, like, see how like Ahmed's creating a visual lexicon that allows him to stand out from the feed, and he's using the sun to represent him and his brand. And he's also using that as a way to grab people to like hook up to see more. So Ahmed's actually doing it really well. Shay does a really good job. Same thing. She uses the first line as a way to, I was not raised by healthy people. Dude, like, this is like what I call a clickbait title. But when she's probably expands on about like why it doesn't, like, you know, why everything. She's go back this up, but what I'm trying to say is that first line is really important. If you're not thinking about that first line on grabbing people's attention, then what you're trying to do is everyone's going to skip you. So the game of LinkedIn content is actually stop. You want to stop the scroll, and you want to go through that as well. And I'm waiting for videos. So what I'm trying to say is, like, video, like, post views are easy to create, but video is the one thing that actually helps you stand out from the crowd, because it's like a 10 times trust factor. So which reminds me, is anyone interested in doing video? And video, I feel like, is important. Hey Jay, video is important because it increases your trust factor, but people chicken out on video because they don't like how they sound. They're scared of critiques. It's really hard, but it's like your own internal barrier from doing something crazy. And really, it's a tool of communication that you need to do to increase your trust factor, right? So that's why I set up the 5-day video challenge. And Subala and the community, every time we do these like monthly video challenges, it gets epic results. It's really fun, and I'm always excited about it because it allows me to help everyone who participate specifically, give them feedback, give them templates, show them that video is not scary. It's just another tool to show you on yourself on video. So if you're interested, go to like www.thetrustedvoice.co and register to be participating inside the 5-day challenge. Like Subala's go participate, and people are rejoining because they love the challenges itself. Kirk has done it. He was the first participant in the first round. What I'm trying to say is you should join the challenge, especially if you're really interested in doing videos. And I want you to do well on videos, because if you want to stand out on LinkedIn, you should do videos. Yes. Yeah, Philippe's also like, this is the community. When you build up a community, this is when you stand out. You know you stand out when you have a community that surrounds you, not an audience, a community that wants to like do well. And I have like people like Philippe who's telling me the lag is bigger here. Yeah, there's a 20-second lag for sure onto LinkedIn, but the quality is similar. And I wanted to move on to things, but video, I feel like there's more text on my feed, which suggests that if you're just doing videos, like, people watch and you will stand out really incredibly well. Subala, can you do me a favor? Can you drop the URL www.thetrustedvoice.co so people who are interested in the 5-day challenge could participate as well? Yeah, and I moved to and I'm glad, like, I have like people going around and saying I moved to Facebook because I feel like Facebook actually has, in terms of like audio and sound latency, a better experience than YouTube is the next one, and then LinkedIn is. But I have to say my LinkedIn community is much more engaged than any of my other platforms as well. All right, what's the third tactic that I want to show? Oh, of course. The third tactic that I want to show is that people don't realize the power of a LinkedIn profile. And when you have a good LinkedIn profile, and this is where like a reminder for everyone who wants me to do your LinkedIn profile, you need to like stand out by having a profile that actually means something, and people use it as a resume, but really it's for people who want, whether it be a resume, whether it be you, let me just start over again here. Thanks for dropping the link. Whether it be the resume, whether it be finding a job, whether it be finding clients, whether it be doing something, you're like trying to connect with more people with your LinkedIn profile, right? So you have to understand a few things about you. How are you positioning yourself in the market space? Like, are you an expert in something? You know, are you relatable? Can I connect with this person? Do they know who they want to connect with? And when I read these profiles, it's actually almost like a cover letter. And I'm reading something that I want to know that person. And if I feel like they're just treating a resume platform, I tend to not want to connect with that person. So if you looked at my LinkedIn profile, you realize that what I'm doing is telling people, it's almost like a landing page. So LinkedIn is different because like I'm using the metrics, not the metrics of views, I'm using the metrics of profile visits. So then it allows me to know how many people are curious enough to know more about me and my business and what I can do to help you. And what I'm trying to do is help people grow on LinkedIn, right? So what I'm trying to say is treat your LinkedIn profile as if it's a landing page. And the key things that I'm going to show you really quickly is on here. Think about your headline. Think about your banner. Your banner is your advertising board. And Cindy has an amazing LinkedIn banner. It's really yellow and poppy. And a lot of people are really scared of color because we have to look professional. But really what you need to do is stand out and make people know. It's like, oh, if I follow String, she's going to be talking about marketing and personal branding, but I should be updating that. The second thing is like you need to think about your headline. And I noticed a few people made themselves so vague that I'm like, who the hell are you? What are you doing? And if you're making yourself too vague, people don't know how to position you are. You're pretty much like out calling yourself as an outlier or like an innovator. So you have to like do it in a way that says like, oh, this person knows their stuff. So I want to make it obvious. It's like, and also people, when you comment, let me highlight where this is where people see. So you have to do something that actually makes it worthwhile, that people want to click onto your profile, right? And the second thing that you need to do is like you need to hook them in your about, because that's where you go introduce your story and your value to the people who are reading your profile. So have a think about what is it that you want to write. And I use emojis as a way to make it easier to read, right? And I have to update this because like I grew really quickly on LinkedIn, but Ahmed grew even faster than me. So kudos to Ahmed. So, and a lot of people don't realize that you can actually click onto things now. So if you click onto this, you click onto my website now. And if you want people to book you in, to check out your website, to increase your visitors to your website, this is a way for you to increase that. Okay. And in the experience, you should update your experience. A lot of people, what they do, the problem is that they forget to remove the experiences of things that are outdated, when you should revamp it and like almost do like a 3 dot points about the experience that you gained and showcase your expertise. So let me reiterate: banner, headline, copy of your summary, your LinkedIn, your links, and your experience. It will take you like a couple hours on a weekend to do. So do it, especially when you're connecting and reaching out and building up your network. Everything's really connected, right? From the first tactic on standing out is all about URL. The second is all about how do you want to position yourself on LinkedIn. Are you an expert? Are you a job person seeking employment? Are you a CEO or a founder connecting with other founders and decision makers? How do you want to position yourself is how people also want to like connect with you. So LinkedIn is a really great place to connect with people. Like if you haven't noticed, like it's a great place to connect. Okay, I'm excited for the next part, which is the profile views. So who am I? So everyone's like, I noticed that I'm doing Kirk. Did I add Kirk? Mark and Subala. And I need one more person as well. Clulee. Man, Kirk, I can't seem to find you. Cairo, man. I don't want to type. So this is the thing that people don't realize. If you make yourself really hard to find, everyone will give up. Cairo. That's another tip. Dude, we have to fix up your searchability because I don't want to, no one types in Cairo, man. Everyone will type in Clulee. So we need to like change your thing to Kirk Clulee. And then if you need to, then write Cairo, like Cairo, man, like that if you need to. But but no one types like this. So be careful about how you position yourself, people. Nah. I can't even do your profile. Okay, if I can't find your profile, it's a sign. That means like I can't do your profile. No, forgetting. Clulee. See, all right. Thank you, Marina. I'll go own you a favor. Clulee. Okay, we finally found him. It took me ages to find him. All right, he's gonna be my third person, and I'm gonna pick Marina. Mark Perrett. So I got him, and I need one more person now. Marina. Light. Okay, you popped up. So okay, the cool thing is we're not connected, Marina. I have to say, I'm gonna be honest. I'm very brutal when I'm doing these like LinkedIn profiles because I just don't have time to be nice. Plus, it helps you, right? Okay. First things first, you need to update your banner because this looks pretty, but it doesn't really indicate what you do, Marina. Like, are you living in a really nice European city? I don't know. Like, you're from Sydney, so if you're connecting with people, they go look at your banner and they get confused. I'm confused. Nice profile. I love how there's a wind there and you have a great smile. If I were you, I'd zoom in a little bit more so your face will pop up really nicely. So that's a great photo, by the way. Great photo. Sales and marketing at QView. Okay, as soon as I read that in the first thing, I do not want to connect with you. Just because like I find that salespeople, and I have been hanging out with a lot of SDRs and AEs in a B2B community, but even I know like the ins and outs of sales. You do not want to like position yourself as a salesperson because you're already like working against the barrier of, do I want to connect with this salesperson? Are they going to sell me something? Likely yes. So if anything, I will like flip this around to advocate of telehealth adoption and then put sales and marketing at QView. Hashtags don't really matter in so much. If anything, it actually makes it messy for you. If anything, I'll put hashtags into the banner, not onto the your headline. You should make it clean. All right, moving on. Okay, there's already a mistake here. You should write in first person because you want to connect with people. If you want to connect as a salesperson, trying to like get into people's DMs, you should really think about how to like build up that trust and rapport, and putting yourself as a third person is already giving yourself another barrier. So if I were you, I will like fix up your copy. Yeah, as a policeman transition to cybersecurity, any direction I find is really okay. Yeah, we're not connected, but these tips will help you think about how to connect yourself. If anything, a lot of like ex-Navy people, ex-Army people have great leadership skills. So if I were you, I'd think about showcasing your leadership skills to transition to something else entirely. All right, the next person, I have to say that Third person, I feel no connections at all. You need to show a bit of yourself about what you care about. And in here, I don't see anything about telehealth. There's nothing. You're an advocate for telehealth adoption, and I don't see anything about you advocating for telehealth adoption. So that's a no for me. It's like, does she really believe in telehealth adoptions? Yes. So Marina, I would say fix up your banner and think about your copy that you want to connect with. This is like the first touch points when people go check you out. Like when you try to reach out and connect with them, they might not want to connect with you, but they will check out your LinkedIn profile. And I definitely recommend that you fix up your copy and make it more relatable so you increase your connection conversions. Okay, next person, Subala. Oh, thank you. Like Restream said, I have 100 messages in my chat today. So thanks everyone for contributing to the conversation. So we have Subala, and Subala, I think I already mentioned this already, right? People don't know what the Amazon stride is. So you have to eloquently, I think the first thing you need to do is like showcase what the Amazon stride is. And it's a little bit blurry. I feel like this is blurry, this image. Yeah, I feel like that. So anyway, Subala, you need to like think about what is that. You have to introduce the concept of Amazon stride. At the moment, I don't think you did a quote, but people are dumb. People are lazy as well. So you need to like think about what is the concept of Amazon stride. And the second thing is like spirit entrepreneur. Okay, that's really interesting. You should put that first. Or learn to harness your infinite spiritual power to stride fearlessly and purposefully in life. You need something here to break it up, because that's one line that people want to read. And I feel like there's a certain type of people that you want to attract in your life, right? There's too much going on here and you're doing too many things. So I recommend that you focus on one call to action. And on LinkedIn, people prefer to like connect on LinkedIn. It's actually really hard to convert people from one platform to another till you feel you need to build up that trust first on LinkedIn before you encourage people to join your Facebook. So that's my advice. Restricted profile. So I feel like if you click onto that, it doesn't work. So that link is broken. I feel like you need to back up your saying about spiritual powers and living spiritually aligned, because there's nothing here to show that your concept, because I'm kind of curious now, but there's nothing for me to anchor and understand your concept about living with infinite spiritual powers, right? To live fearlessly and purposely in life. I actually think this is also really long. I'm all about simplicity, right? And so you need to introduce the concept. So the first thing I would do is I'll introduce a concept about what the Amazon stride is. That's my tip for you. And your link doesn't work, by the way. So think about like that, because like you're introducing a totally foreign concept to a lot of people. So people want to know why it's so important to align with your spirituality. All right, next person, Mark. Mark is just recently joined my Trusted Circle community. And I already did Marina already. So, and he's been orbiting around, so I'm glad that he finally joined, because I was waiting for him to finish his MBA, which he completed recently. So if Mark's watching, like, I want you to like go in the comments and say, I'm here. And I'm already picked I'm not going to be talking about backgrounds and technical stuff. I'm here to talk about LinkedIn profiles and Sophia, but yeah, I help build high performance frontline teams and leaders. That's great. I'm not a fan of this though. Like, you should just say leadership management. There's always going to be one thing, like your main income stream that you make the most money from, whether it be coach, consultant, trainer. you need to like introduce, like it's like going to a hotel, right? You just want them to go through the door first before you introduce the next business and next business part of your TR, right? So what I'm trying to say is like simplify what you need to do and get people through that door first. When they go through the door, then you could like show them the menu, you could show them the value of your work, and you could introduce more of your services and upgrade them. But you don't want to like throw them everything because he just confuses people. So what I'm trying to say is like simplify everything, and you're repeating quite a lot. 25 years of business leadership and management experience. Just write 25 years as a, if anything, it's a cred piece. It's like, if you're like a leader, like, you know, I was thinking about this quite a lot when I was doing profiles audit. And one thing this VP forgot to mention that he's a VP of sales. That's a baller move. So you need to find that one baller thing that will like help you get people's attention. So my one is like 3 times LinkedIn top voice. No one gives the stuff about me being the founder of the Trusted Voice. Not yet anyway. But the Trusted Voice doesn't have that brand equity for me to like put it as a baller move. If I was like saying that I was a CEO of Microsoft, of course people are going to be like this, because Microsoft has that social equity and brand recognition that you want to put that there. But at the moment, like I'd rather be known for 3 times LinkedIn top voice, because that is being recognized more. That's the baller move. All right. Second thing, it's you always repeat. So if I were you, I write leadership and management coach or consultant. I think a consultant will be better, or a trainer will be better. So you should like pick one than doing a lot of things. And the second thing is I eat and sleep and breathe the crossroads of business and psychology. It's not about you, it's about them. That's the common thing that a lot of people do when they write copy. They write about themselves when you should try to hook them in about them and their pain point. So when you resonate with them, of course they go read more. But when you promote yourself, it's like, oh, not another person who wants to promote themselves. So think about that. So I agree with you. What did you find? Oh yeah. So no one cares about me being like, I'm trying to say is like, the perfect headliner happens to have you kind of pitch your business, you show your credibility, and you do that in 2 lines. Let's see if this link works. That lags too much. That's a bad thing when things lags. Okay, I'll close that. That lagged too much. Does that really matter? Oh, maybe in your industry. So I'm kind of curious. Why not put it up into your LinkedIn banner instead of wasting this? Because this is prime real estate. So I wouldn't recommend that you put a logo or certification here. I'll put that into your banner instead. And make the most of these links, because this is like a precious real estate that you have to leverage. Let's see. You know what? I know your story, Mark. So I would rather, like you said, like I came from a really hard background. I didn't even finish high school, but despite that, I was able to go up and rise the ranks of being a VP, and now I train people on how to be a better leader and talk about like the difference between leadership and management. Because if you do that, people was like, oh, is that the difference between management and thing? So the thing, it's funny because like we have so much assumed knowledge about assuming that people know what you do, but you have to re-educate people about the philosophy about what you do. When I create content, it seems like I'm promoting stuff. Yeah, like Joseph, it's all about really thinking about how to add value. Like, I don't promote myself. I rather promote others and what I do and how I help others. There's a difference, right? I know that I could like say, hey, I won this award. Look, I got this deal. But that doesn't somehow come off as value driven. It comes off as ego driven. Okay. Let's work on this together, Mark. I feel like this is a longer conversation, but definitely what I'm trying to say is that this hook needs to be done better. You need to introduce yourself and then introduce audit, because I feel like that's like your concept that you came up with, which is great. And then fix up the links, remove this image, because like I know how valuable you are. And also, is this your business here? So this is what I'm confused about. Like, you have a few things that you're promoting, so we need to clean it up to showcase that you are open for business and consulting and training, and how you do that. At the moment, I read this and I received just a block amount of text. So we need to make it so it's super easy for people to read. And it's like, I need to connect with Mark and talk about leadership. I need to talk to Mark about how to like create high performing frontline teams and leaders. So the thing that's missing for me is like, how do you help businesses? And you probably, I recommend like I help companies, organizations build high performing frontline teams and leaders. And what do you do to do that? Because I feel like that's a better deal flow than working with individuals. Like coaching, you will attract individuals to your coaching business, but the ones that will make you more money is actually organizations. So you rather like build that pipeline first than individuals. So that's just like my thing. I need a new, yeah, you definitely do. If anything, if I do this and if I don't have something within 5 seconds, I go like this. Yeah. Okay, next person. Oh, we're pretty much on time. So Kirk, I just need to like, I think you're part of Nitrogen Services. I'll be upfront. I'm not very familiar with this space. And I'm kind of curious about what the word Chiro Man means. So the first thing you have to do is when on this line is like, what is Chiro Man? I'm serious. And I don't think people in transferring integrity, alignment, and quality and trust. We should work on this banner. I'm confused. Like I'm glad that you're promoting this, but are you trying to recruit people? Because like when you share qualities or values, it's actually a recruiting technique. Nitrogen. Oh, thank you. Nitrogen is Chiro, and nitrogen is, it must be an inside joke, right? It's definitely an inside joke. I actually love what you did here. We need to fix this up so we make you searchable, but people will find you regardless. You need it, dude. First step, you need to go onto the blog, The Trusted Voice, and fix up your URL and just write Clerk Chiro Man. See, at the moment you have a terrible URL, so it's gonna be hard for people to find you. Fix that up. It will take you 5 minutes. Second thing is the banner. You know, Chiro I love that. So Chiro is like nitrogen, so I get that joke now. But people want to know is like, you know, if anything, like how long have you been in the industry for? Like, I feel like you've been in the industry with nitrogen for so long that you should probably put that as a baller statement and write in first person, because you're what are you trying to do? Like at the moment I just see like a menu of your services, which doesn't really appeal to me and appeal to someone else as well. So think about that. Think about what you need to do to get people to connect with you, because I feel like you have a really good service in what you're doing. Okay, this is people who's watching this right now. This is what I call the traditional way of doing LinkedIn, which is writing in third person, writing and outlining your services and stuff. This is like the really, really traditional way of doing LinkedIn. And I think people don't want that. They just want to connect with people. Thank you, Najma. Yeah, you need to fix up the URL. So, okay, I'm probably going to do one more. Like, we could fix that together. Kirk, hint, join the trusted circle. I'm happy to help you out. I've been waiting for you for a while. You're like the type of person I want to help out, because I'm waiting for you to do more videos, because you on video and Mark too is great on video. You and Mark are awesome on video. And Najma, speaking of which, since I have your attention now, when are we going to be creating content together? So this is me trying to say to people, like, fix up your URL, fix up your banner, this is actually a really good headline. Redo your about in writing in first person as well. Hey Joseph, if I do your URL, will you join the trusted circle? I'm not going to do your profile, but yeah, you have a very traditional LinkedIn profile. Technically, you're not my ideal client person that I'm meeting in this, but there's nothing here that appeals to me in terms of like, do I want to hire this person? I just see a block of text there. So, and technically the way you do headlines is that it's probably indicating that you have all these expertise, but I'm not a recruiter to understand. And when I look at this text of things, I just see something that like, what is he trying to say about himself? And here you need to like think about like why you should be deserving of hire. It's all about sharing your values and conveying your values. But if you've been a project manager, like how many years of project management have you done, and what results have you done? So if you have 20 years of like of experience, people want to hear and see the stories about what kind of things, like situations that you've been able to do to provide results. At the moment, you're like, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, this is my experience. But people want to know is like, if I add this person into my business, can they deliver the results that they said they did in the other companies? So I look at your profile and I bet you add everyone. Like you're connected with a lot of people, I feel like. You have a lot of experience in becoming an electronics technician, and it seems like you're repeating quite a little bit. So you need to like showcase like what results that you've done for each of these companies. Yeah, I told you I'm pretty brutal. Like, would I hire with this person? It's like, I'm not in the industry, so I have to say outright that you should be more about, hey, I'm a good fit for your company. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think that's about it. I'm going to do a recap. That's a nice message. Thank you, Marina. And you're welcome. Yes, fixed up your banner. It's not brutal. No, it's not brutal. Well, it's brutal to him. Yes. Wasn't that bad? No, most people, I feel like you hanged out with enough Kirk to know what works and what doesn't work. Yes, you're welcome. Okay, I want to recap my thing today. Would love for you to, what's your LinkedIn URL? There's no good fried chicken emojis. No Holly. Holly, like, Holly, actually I've been hanging out with Holly more, so all of the tips about employment and getting a job I learned from her. So I want to give you a recap about how to stand out on LinkedIn, which is about, think about your positioning. I didn't talk about this, but really it's about your positioning. Is it clear to the other person that reads my profile? Second thing is fix up your LinkedIn URL. Like, you need to know and let people know that you're active on LinkedIn. Third thing is don't treat it like a traditional resume. LinkedIn is a dynamic resume that allows you to connect with awesome people. Like, the more you connect with people relevant to your industry, the more you find clients, get a job, and you need to build up your people within your network. So then when you need a new job or you need new clients, you have that pipeline working on, right? So just because you get a job now, you still need to be developing your industry network so you still be relevant in your industry. Like, it allows you to find a job, but also gives you insights about what's happening inside the industry as well. And for people who want to be a thought leader, yeah, creating content is an easy way to position yourself as a thought leader within the space, and you become the trusted source. So creating content, doing videos will help you stand out really quickly. And I know that people has the potential to communicate on video properly. All you have to do is turn on your video and join the 5-day challenge. And what else is there? Create content. Think about your LinkedIn profile as a landing page or a love letter that you're trying to woo over your prospects. The more you know who you're talking to, the more you can create content and copy that really resonates with them and they want to convert really well. And fourth, you should join. There are 2 little things that I want to promote. This is me pitching my thing. If you're interested in gaining video confidence, join the 5-day challenge. It's happening next week. We partner up with someone really cool to add captions to your videos. So that means that you can use these videos onto your LinkedIn straight away. Second thing is, if you want to build up your brand and start it on LinkedIn, you should join the Trusted Circle at the links is www.thetrustedvoice.co. So you should join the circle, and I'm going to give more feedback to my community. You think I gave a lot of feedback on how to do LinkedIn profiles? You should see the feedback that I give when they're inside the circle. So again, next week I'm going to be sharing more tips on how to leverage LinkedIn. I think next week I'm going to be doing something. Is there a particular topic that you want me to talk about? I'm debating on how to message and connect, because I notice like people do terrible connections on LinkedIn. The other topic is like going really deep on video. So I'm debating or building up your personal brand, but standing on personal branding is very similar actually. Okay. I just want to give a shout out to Jeannie for giving some kudos, and I already like picked 3 or 4 people actually, and 5 actually, of who I want to do. So you have to like come to next week and just join the Trusted Circle so you could jump the queue, and I'll give you that LinkedIn profile update. But inside the Trusted Circle, we really just talk about how to improve your branding, your positioning, how to create content, and your LinkedIn profiles as well. So I'm really excited about this. Yes, Kirk, you should join the Trusted Circle. You're the type of person I want to help the most. Okay, thank you for joining in. I see you next week. I'm happy to give feedbacks. The good thing is that every time I do these streams, I get a little bit better. And I've only been studying but actively for the last 3 months, even though I had access to like this feature for the last year or so. But I feel like I finally know how to like do a live stream that entertains people and educates people as well. So I see you again next week. Let me know what topics that you want to like think about. I'm always reading the comments. I'm always engaging with people, because that's how you build up a community. You engage with them in the comments, commenting. Like you should read my last hack about that as well. Again, thank you so much. I'll see you again next week, or you could go onto my YouTube and watch all my other videos that I did on tips on LinkedIn. Ciao everyone.